You know, I don't really sit down to watch a lot of TV too often, but when I do, I usually sit down and watch anime. And with how many streaming services are available nowadays, finding a new anime to watch has never been easier. And if you don't know what to watch, you can always go to Twitter and ask for recommendations there. The problem is then, you have to interact with the anime community. And I cannot stand the anime community. Honestly, community feels like too nice of a term. Honestly, if you want to get real technical, you should really go with Troop of Angry Monkeys. And you know, obviously not every anime fan is a gorilla screaming to you about the complexities of My Hero Academia, but most of them are just people you know who like cartoons. But you know what? This video isn't about them. This video is about the toxic anime fans, and just why I can't stand them. Remember how I compared anime fans to a troop of screaming monkeys? Well, that mostly applies here, because if you decide that you weren't a fan of any show that they liked, better pack your bags, buddy, because we don't allow different opinions in this town. Just this year, I made the grave mistake of saying, I think Sword Art Online is bad, which is not a hot take at all. That's pretty standard, and I was threatened to get kicked from a Discord because I said that. I mean, the way he responded, you would have thought I personally attacked him. And I think the whole personal attack thing is why anime fans are so rabid and defensive in the first place. They get so involved and hyped up in their show that they think it's a part of their personality now, and so whenever it's criticized, they feel they too are being criticized and attacked. However, if you want a storm of angry weebs in your Twitter mentions, all you have to do is say you didn't like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Because there is no fanbase that is as fragile or as feral as the JoJo stans. Earlier last year, a content creator by the name of Jesus Walks tweeted out that he thinks JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 5 is bad. And then he did it a second time. And the second time was more about how terrible the show Shield Hero is, and even still, the JoJo's fans jumped down his throat for it. I want to show you a few of my favorite replies from these threads, and I'm gonna warn you, not all of them are exactly coherent.
I feel like I lost countless brain cells from reading this comment. I also feel like I deserve an apology, but whatever. You actually
I mean, you can make any anime sound like fucking shit if you describe it like a simp.
If you want an anime that's actually bad, instead of hating good anime, I recommend Isekai Cheat Magician Crunchyroll.
This tweet deserves a medal for how bad it is. He legit gave part 1 a 7 on my anime list, and the other parts 3s and 2s. Get the out. Whatever, that's not even close to your worst offense. I'm not even going to point out all the shitty anime you gave a passing rating to, because I would be here all day.
If you think JoJo Part 5 is one of the worst anime of all time, then either you have trash taste or you've seen 4 anime max and just hate JoJo for literally no reason.
Excuse me? But who are you and why am I following someone who hates JoJo? What is this? I'm confused on so many levels. You have to be trolling, right? Please tell me you're trolling.
It's not Lamau, for your information, famous wannabe. It's fact, basically. If you don't like it, it's not my problem. Although, it'll be sad for someone who doesn't know what's wrong and right.
And the obvious problem here is that these people have no concept of subjectivity. Just because you like something doesn't mean everyone's gonna like that thing. Which, if you've been on this planet for more than 5 years, you probably understand that by now. I shouldn't have to explain that. But this kind of thing happens time and time again. And frankly, it confuses me. I mean, this is just some random stranger over the internet. Why do you care what they think about your show? It will literally never affect you. So if you don't know the difference between subs and dubs, subs refers to subtitles that are translated into whatever language you speak, while the characters' voices are still in Japanese, and dubs are just their voices are dubbed over into whatever language you speak. And you might think, oh, surely that's just a preference thing. I mean, whatever you want to watch, you should watch it, and not according to anime fans, you have to watch it the way they want you to watch it. If you aren't watching in subs, you clearly aren't a true fan. And to be frank, I'm not sure why this prejudice exists. Part of me thinks some people are just such hardcore Japanophiles it has to be pure and can't be anything else. And the other part of me thinks that someone heard one bad dub one time and just assumed all dubs are bad. Now, do bad dubs exist?
Oh no! It's a trap card! Oh.
It's the human spirit! JoJo! This is the last of my hormone! Take it from me!
Absolutely. This is still something anime fans get way too riled up about. It shouldn't matter what language someone enjoys your show in, as long as they're enjoying it with you. Why do you have a problem with it? Personally, I think some shows have pretty good dubs, such as The Disastrous Life of Psyche K, Full Metal Alchemist, Kill la Kill. They all have pretty solid dubs. Not to mention, dubs gave us the greatest gift of all in the form of a show called Ghost Stories.
I'm going fucking crazy.
Heil Hitler.
Look out, Ted!
Get your crackhead ass into some rehab. I ain't got time for this bullshit.
Leave me alone. I'm doing my standard anime elbows up pose.
The number you've dialed is no longer in service. Hey, maybe if they paid their fucking phone bill, you could call again.
But all joking aside, if someone likes to enjoy something a certain way, as long as that thing isn't hurting someone, let him enjoy it. What are you losing out of someone watching a show a specific way? People aren't gonna look down on you and think you're some lesser weeb or some shit just because you let people enjoy shows the way they like to. Now this next problem is a little more serious because it's kind of fucked up. So everyone knows anime is famous for its big ol' honka-bonkas, and sometimes they start fights over the internet, and sometimes they make scenes like this. And usually this is fine because, I mean, no one's really watching for that most of the time. People are just watching to watch their cartoon and, you know, just chill out and have a good time. The problem is, because of Japan's low age of consent, a lot of times this is focused around people under the age of 18. And before you draw any conclusions, I'm not trying to call anime fans pedophiles. It's like I said earlier, most people usually just ignore that stuff. They just want to watch their cartoon and, you know, chill out. To even give an example, one of my favorite shows of all time is Kill la Kill. And man, is that show way too horny for my liking. However, I love all the characters, I love the animation, I love the music, I love the voice acting. The only thing I don't love is the egregious amount of titty. The problem we get into is the art that the community makes about these characters. People really like drawing hentai of the characters in the shows they like to watch. The problem, again, is a lot of times these characters are underaged. And a lot of the times when this happens, people claim, well, I aged the character up. This means that they're claiming that the character in their picture, they have aged up over the age of 18. However, a lot of the times, they still look like they did when they were a 14-year-old, which is, like, omega creepy. Because it looks like they're just slapping a new number by him like, yeah, it's fine now, guys, it's okay. And if you want an example of this, simply look up the name Megumin, who is a character from the show Konosuba. Even if you just go through Google Images, it doesn't take long before you start getting lewd results. And this is particularly disturbing considering she is canonically 14 years old. And let me be clear, this isn't only the case just for this specific character, there's a lot of characters this happens to, and it's really fucking creepy in my opinion. And there might be an argument if the artist actually put some time and work into making them look like an adult that this would be okay. For example, adult Naruto and kid Naruto look significantly different. So maybe if this happened it would be okay, but either way, I think I'd be a little creeped out by it. And the whole aging up controversy is a pretty hotly debated topic, and while I will pretty much always find it creepy regardless, I would like to hear other opinions in the comments and see what people think. I think one of the stupidest arguments about this is, art doesn't have an age, art's a freedom of expression, stuff like that. I mean, it's still CP. The child is still underaged. You aren't, just because the drawing doesn't specifically have an age, you're still drawing this shit. And trying to normalize it and make it okay doesn't make anything better. Thankfully, there is something you can do about this. Whenever this happens, you can almost certainly report the user on whatever social media site you're using, and hopefully get it taken down. Or, if you're not afraid to start a little beef, call them the fuck out! Now obviously, not all anime fans are like this, that'd be ridiculous to even assume such a thing. However, the smallest gears do squeak the loudest, and honestly it's a community that I dread the thought of even interacting with. As most of my experiences with the community have overall been negative, I'm struggling to even think about a positive experience. The most positives I have are just kind of talking about what anime I like with friends. That and watching the occasional Gigic video. Because I really do love watching anime. It's made me laugh, it's made me cry, I think it's a very entertaining medium, and it can illustrate a lot of things thanks to its animation that, you know, a lot of Western television just can't. And I'm not calling Western shows bad or anything. I watch them too. I'm just saying I prefer anime for a specific reason. Also, keep in mind, I'm not saying it's impossible to have a positive experience with a community. There are definitely good people out there. I just haven't interacted with them. I am unfortunately limited by my experiences. And if you have, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to read through them. I'd love to see a brighter side to the community than the things I've laid before you today. because that's all I see when I think of the anime community, and I'd love to see some positivity come out of it. And overall, I know this video is extremely different from what I usually make, and I sincerely hope you've enjoyed it. And if you have, like, comment, subscribe. We just hit over 100 subs, which is pretty freaking awesome. I'm really hyped about that. And before I'd go, I'd like to give a special thanks to everyone who helped with this video by lending their voices when it came to reading the tweets. I'm really glad I got to include some of my Twitch and Twitter homies in this. That was just so awesome. And I'd love to do it again someday. Honestly, I don't know if I'm ever going to do another commentary video, but if you liked it, make sure you let me know in my comments, or subscribe, or join the Discord. Just recently in my Discord, we've started up movie nights every Friday at 8 PM Central Time, so if you want to come by and stop and watch a movie and chat, you're free to do so. Anyways, that's all from me for today. I hope I see you in the next video.